Steve Merrill dropping by as he does each and every week here at the Voice of College Football. You can catch Steve's complete work at wagertalk.com, Wager Talk TV as well, right here on YouTube. Look it up. You will not be disappointed. Steve breaks it down concerning college football, of course, also the NFL and the NBA. College basketball is starting as well, so get in on the action. Steve, we've got a matchup of high-scoring offenses when USC travels to Oregon to take on the Ducks. Of course, Oregon possibly is the best loss, in quotes, in college football this season, going to Washington, taking them to a last-second field goal loss on the road. And USC continues to rack up points on offense, but not enough to keep up with good opponents, and they fall by 10 at Washington at home last week. I got to say, I'm a bit surprised by this line being this strong. USC a 15-point underdog at Oregon.
Yeah, we talked about this kind of similar with the Florida State-Miami game, right? The line looked big, being more than 2 touchdowns. I mentioned how Miami was kind of a public dog. I think USC will get some public money here as well. But once again, I rely on my database simulation to give me the true number. And 10,000 games run through the simulation has, on average, Oregon winning by 23 points in this game. So once again, it's one of those lines that looks big, but probably isn't big enough. And I think there's definitely some reasons to see Oregon winning this one big. As you mentioned, Mark, by far the best loss of the season. They outgained Washington, missed the field goal late, but they had over 530 yards on the road at Washington. You can only imagine what Oregon can do at home now against a bad USC defense. And yes, this is a bad USC defense, as we've been saying each and every week. USC has now gone over 9 of their 10 games this season over the total. They've now failed to cover 7 in a row against the spread. So normally, when you get to a 7-game spread losing streak, you'd say there's value in that team. But once again, based on my simulation, we're getting a touchdown to line value still with Oregon. And I really think Oregon is one of the best teams in the country. It would be a shame if they don't make that 4-team playoff, because I really do think they're a top 4 team right now. Not only are they great offensively, 47 points a game, USC 45.5. Oregon 7.8 yards per play, USC 7.6. So 2 really good offenses. But check out the difference on defense. Oregon is 18.5 points better defensively on average. They give up 1.5 yards per play less. And then on top of that, this is such a tough spot for USC. I thought they would come to play last week, even with 2 losses against undefeated Washington. And they did come to play. They just can't stop anybody. But now they've lost 3 games this season. Everything is basically over. National title hopes, conference hopes, everything. They've lost 3 of their last 4 straight up. This could be that flat spot, and this is when it could get really ugly against a really good Class A team. And then on top of that, the fact that they've had such high-scoring losses in games in recent weeks. They barely beat Cal by 1, 50-49. Then they give up 52 last week. I'm just not sure what they have left in the tank. And this is an Oregon team that put up over 80 points in their season opener. They put up 63 last week against Cal. And don't forget, that's the same Cal team that USC just 2 games ago barely beat 50-49. Oregon beat them by 44 points. So this is a really good Ducks team. And yes, the line looks high at over 2 touchdowns. I know USC has backdoor cover potential, but the Ducks have a really good pass defense. And because of that loss that you mentioned, they have incentive to win big and to lay it on whenever possible. So I think they get what we call a front door cover here, and they win this one by maybe 3 touchdowns.
Absolutely. And that Oregon defense has to be the only thing keeping that over-under number in check to a certain extent. Right. You get Steve Merrill's complete look at college football, college basketball, the NBA, and the NFL at wagertalk.com. Steve's under the radar selection, exclusive to us here at the Voice of College Football. We feel good about that. We appreciate Steve doing that. 18-5 against the spread since week 1 of 2022. You can get it as a main channel member right here on YouTube or at patreon.com/MarkRogersTV. Steve, as always, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.